a much needed, refreshing alcoholic beverage after the soulless Netflix blockbuster, The Electric State. What is this? I don't know what Netflix is doing. Can you even call this shit movies? You can call it shit movies, but can you call this shit, movies, ? I don't think you can. The Electric State. For about a week now, because apparently everyone in the world but me that reviews movies got to see this. Apparently this is the worst movie ever. And I'm coming here today to tell you it's not the worst movie ever, but it is probably one of the most soulless, predictable, consumerist pieces of media ever. Like, this thing is just content. You know when they try to say movies aren't content, blah, blah, blah? This is content. The Russo brothers, who did Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, they are the content kings. I never saw a trailer, I sort of saw bits and pieces, and it looked interesting enough. You know, it's like robot dystopia. Okay, I'm in. I like Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown. We'll get to her. I watched it, and I got to admit, I had a lady friend over last night when I watched it, and we were laughing our asses off. Seriously, the whole time, and I'm spitting at her. Oh, this is about to happen. This is gonna happen. There's gonna be a callback to this. I predicted this whole mother effing thing the whole time. It is really predictable. I'll get to the writing. What I want to start with, just the reaction. It's hilariously dumb, soulless, and really fucking boring. The acting. Chris Pratt is absolutely phoning it in. Chris Pratt went from the guy that was halfway between handsome and hilarious, which was his niche, and then he got Jurassic World and sort of turned into the more generic, handsome leading man type, and outside of the Guardians movies, I haven't seen anything he's done that I've enjoyed. I like the man. I love him as an actor, and he's a very funny man, right? But he's absolutely phoning it in here. This role could have been played by anyone. Millie Bobby Brown is someone, again, I'm not very familiar with. She does heaps of Netflix movies. She is an awful actress, I think. Well, she was in this movie anyway. She was terrible. Every line of dialogue she says, she takes the most dramatic, melodramatic pauses between each word. She'll look at a character, tear in the eye. What do you mean by that? Who are you? What do you mean? You're my brother? Bitch, act like a normal person. It was so annoying. I swear the runtime was 20 minutes longer because Millie Bobby Brown just takes so goddamn long to say her lines. There isn't much else to say about the acting. It really relies on them. There's a lot of voice acting, which is whatever. All the robots, whatever. Giancarlo Esposito is in here again. You know, he was in Captain America a few weeks ago playing a bounty hunter. He's in this movie playing a bounty hunter. Giancarlo Esposito just does the same thing in every movie. Every show. Like, he's on Breaking Bad, he's great. Gus Fring. And then ever since then, he just does the same fucking thing. I really wish he would be challenged by a director. I wish casting agents, casting directors saw that he's much better than just guy that says lines stoically. The writing is bad. This is the writing duo that did Civil War, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, and Endgame. They're good writers for Marvel. I don't know why they can't write anything outside of Marvel. Everything they've written that they've teamed up with the Russos to write sucks. The Grey Man the other year was an awful Netflix movie by the same duo, same directors. They just can't do it. There's something missing. I think they go into each of their projects because of Marvel, expecting everybody to be familiar with the characters prior. So going into this movie, things start happening and you're thrown into this plot, but you don't have any connection to the characters. And so you can't get into the plot, and then things just keep going and happening, and you're just there going, there's nothing here. That's the problem with their writing. And their writing is actually quite predictable now. One thing I praised them for in the Marvel era was their ability to set things up and pay them off. In each of those movies, one of the best examples I can give you is in The Winter Soldier. How does that movie start? on your left, on your left, on your left, when Cap is jogging. In Endgame, when Falcon comes out of the portal in the biggest, most epic moment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, on your left. Set up 5 years prior, paid off in Endgame. That's what they were so good at, and there's so many examples of that, I can't get into it right now. So when I'm watching this movie, a character will do like a little gesture, and you just know that's gonna come back. A character will say a line, and you just know that's gonna come back. And their writing is predictable now because you know anything that is brought up that doesn't feel quite natural is just set up for a later payoff. And the writing, like, there's so much Marvel humor in this, and this goes back to Millie Bobby Brown as well. She cannot pull off a one-liner, a comedic line to save her life. So many moments in this movie, characters, they're in the middle of something that's meant to be exciting, even though it never is. And then there's a pause. Pause! Gotta say a quippy line, here's a quip, falls flat every time. So the writing and the humor, the writing and the characters, the writing all across the board is pretty pathetic. The world building is also pretty pathetic because this movie is not filmed in the world. You can tell most of this movie's on a green screen or on a set indoors. So there's no sense of breadth of soaking in the atmosphere. It all feels very artificial, and the world building is pretty much contained to news articles and reels like that, like news reels, and it's just not interesting. There's so much more they could have done. And another thing too, we're talking a little bit about the filmmaking now, the color. Netflix movies are so gray and ugly. Here's how this movie looks. I'm going to download the trailer. Here it is, have a look at it. If I just turn up that saturation dial, this is what it looks like now, far better. And the score, this is Alan Silvestri, who did Predator, Back to the Future, like the Endgame, all the Avengers movies except for the second one. Great composer, legendary composer, must be pretty old by now. The score here does have an 80s adventure ring about it. The score is not awful, but there's nothing memorable about it. So the score is trying to do a lot of heavy lifting. Like there's scenes where you'll see like a massive CGI wide shot and the score rises and it's kind of whimsical and it's like, I should be feeling something, I don't, and that's direction. The Russos, I don't want to say they're bad directors because they've made as many good things as bad things at this point. So I think the next thing they do, which happens to be Avengers Doomsday, will be the telling sign if these guys are hacks or not. The Electric State. It's a bad movie. It's a soulless movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And Millie Bobby Brown needs acting lessons.